Howdy, folks. Welcome to another episode of the Reseller Niche Podcast. How's it going over there, Russ?
Mo, it is going fantastic down here in the deep south. What about you out in California?
Oh, it's great. It's nice and warm today. Not too bad, not too hot. So just to give a little recap, we are the Reseller Niche Podcast. Right now we're live on YouTube, and we are recording for iTunes. And we do a little show about reselling related topics, and we kind of with our own little tangents. So our guest today is returning after nearly a year. I'm going to let him introduce himself. Take it away, Chris.
Hey everyone, I'm Chris. I'm reseller here on Steemit, as what we're going to talk about today, but I'm also known as Thrift Shop Hustler on YouTube. Glad to be here.
Thank you. So everybody knows Chris on YouTube, and you really know him if you are paying attention to YouTube or Steemit. And I have a lot of questions about this. It's a whole new world.
Yeah. How much time do you have today, Chris? We might hold you for a couple hours.
I got an hour for sure. So if it goes over that, it's fine. I'll let you guys know for sure.
So just give people a little bit of background on yourself, pre-Steemit and DTube, and how you kind of got into that.
Well, I've been a reseller for about 30 years. I started selling garbage pail kids when I was 6, transitioned into baseball cards when I was 8 and 9, and then sold comic books and vintage figures when I was a teenager. eBay came out in 1995. I jumped into that. Did Yahoo auctions in 1998 and just continued to do my reselling career. Through then, I started a YouTube channel called the Thrift Shop Hustler channel last year, and we almost have 5,000 subscribers, and that's been a lot of work also. And then eventually I saw Steemit last year, which is basically another social media platform, and I started to jump into that and do some of my reselling kind of adventures on there. And then also DTube, which is kind of like another version of YouTube. So that's what I got to start posting my videos there. But there's a whole transition from that. You know, a lot of people don't like to talk about the reselling stuff in DTube and Steemit. It's like two different niches for sure. But that's basically my journey in under a minute. My whole life under a minute.
Chris in a nutshell. That's awesome.
Right.
Awesome. So I know we're going to try and keep this to DTube and Steemit. I just wanted to give that little synopsis just for anyone on their YouTube saying, hey, you know what, that's Thrift Shop Hustler. So let me see, which should I go first? I'm going to start with Steemit. And I'd like to see if you can do a similar synopsis on how people can kind of wrap their brain around what Steemit is.
So basically, Steemit is another form of a social media site. They are kind of hearkened to a mix between maybe Facebook and Reddit. It's more towards Reddit. It's more geared towards blogs, but you could post like videos and stuff like that. And pretty much what Steemit is it's a third-party app that is created on top of a blockchain. And if for those that don't know blockchain technology, I apologize. I'm not going to get into the technology there, but it's just another form of storing information that is, centralized and all that stuff. But anyway, Steemit is built on this blockchain. It's a third party. And when you blog post and you do things like that, if people like your stuff, they can upvote you, which earns you cryptocurrency. So it's almost like, imagine if you're on Facebook and people upvote you and like your stuff, you don't get paid anything. On Steemit, if you become popular, if people like your stuff, if certain people upvote your things, and depending on their kind of rank and their prestige on the platform, their upvotes are sometimes worth $100 for one upvote. So if you have they're called whales. If someone who isn't very influential on the program likes your blog post and upvotes you just once, that could be $100 in your pocket. So basically, in a nutshell, Steemit is another social media site that is built on blockchain technology where you can earn cryptocurrency for blog posting.
Wow. Okay. So I'm going to go from there a little bit. How did you find out about?
Can I ask a quick jump in, Joe, real quick? Okay, sorry about that. Didn't mean to talk over you.
Oh, no worries.
Christopher, on that. So, say, let's use what everybody knows, and you brought up Facebook, and so Mark Zuckerberg likes my post, or the Mark Zuckerberg type likes my post. I get cryptocurrency for that.
Yeah, well, no, well, here, yes and no, because Mark Zuckerberg is not on Steemit. But
right, the whale type, the Mark
Right.
Zuckerberg type. Yeah.
Okay, the Mark Zuckerberg type, yes. So
Yeah.
there's that, and it's called weighted stake. And there's going to be so many terms that are going to fly over everyone's head today.
Sure.
And I'm going to just say I definitely apologize for that right away. But so what it is weighted stake is how much kind of tokens you have in the system. So consider it like an investment. Like if someone has a large bank account, like a millionaire, and a millionaire upvotes your stuff, then it's worth more than someone who has maybe $1,000 in their bank account. It's weighted stake, and the weight and the stake is their tokens in the system. So that's how those upvotes work.
Okay, and you can, these whales, when they do like something or when they do respond, you can see that they're whales, or is it just?
Yeah, what's great about blockchain?
You can see their weight.
Yeah, so what's great about blockchain technology is it's pretty much an open ledger, so anyone can see what anyone's doing, their account, how much their account's worth, who are they upvoting, who are they following, who are they unfollowing. And it's kind of scary in a way because it's very open, so there's little chance of people kind of doing side things and being shady and everything. But you can see with the blockchain, and there's specialty sites where you can go and look up. There's a site called steamworld.org where you just put in someone's username and you can see what their stake weight is, and what their upvotes are worth if they do upvote for 100%. Because here's another thing too, they don't have to give you a full upvote. They can give you 1% of an upvote. So that $100 upvote, if it was 100%, they can do 1% upvote and give you $1, depending on how they feel about your content. So that's what's great. Originally, Steemit was built on the fact that, or the premise of like Reddit, where people upvote, and so the good content rises to the top.
Right.
So Steemit is built in that kind of vein where the algorithm is set up for, usually the better content that whales upvote, or anyone else actually upvotes, it rises to the top. So that's how people usually determine, what is good content or whatever. But everything's very subjective too. And there's so many other kind of side things going on. People can actually pay for upvotes and things like that. And that's a whole controversy in itself, but that's a little bit deeper of a subject matter to get into. But that's pretty much the premise of upvotes and how you get paid and stuff like that.
Thanks for clearing that up for me, because I was like, wait a minute, because and I apologize pre-ahead of time. I'm gonna stop you a couple times, get this old man's brain working where I got Reddit, so that helps.
So, I mean, I like the premise of Steemit because it's based on what people really like. And you said with the upvoting, that's kind of, from my understanding, it's kind of broken up so you can't really spam kind of upvoting a million people at once.
Right, because there's this thing called voting power, and every day when you start out a fresh account, it's 100%. And every time you upvote 100%, the voting power goes down 2%. So basically, if you do 100% upvote, it'll go down to 98%. So you can't just keep voting everyone every day, because then your voting power goes all the way down, and then you got to recharge it. So every day your voting power recharges about 20%. So usually people try to work within that parameter of upvotes and stuff like that. So that's one of the countermeasures on spamming upvotes and things like that.
I think that's like probably one of the coolest things that I've heard about this, other than some of the other stuff. And then as you grow as a Steemit user, as your Steam Power, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Does that make, say, your upvote worth? Are you? I mean, maybe you're not a whale, but closer to being a bigger user.
Right. So what it is Steam Power is pretty much the tokens you have vested in the system. So usually when you start off with Steemit, and when you get a free account, before I think you got like maybe 6 or 8 Steam Power. And I don't think it's even that much even now, but that gives you a little bit of stake and bandwidth in the system to upvote and stuff like that. But so someone that has 1,000 Steam Power, their 100% upvote may be worth like 10 cents.
Okay.
So it all is determined on the weight of stake. And now when I say like $100 upvote, now when you get paid out every 7 days. So let's say you create a post, people upvote it, and then after 7 days, it cashes out into your system, into your quote unquote Steemit bank account. And then after that, people can't upvote. Well, they can upvote it, but you're not going to get paid for it. Like I said, there's a whole ecosystem. It's not very simple to explain, really quickly, like, oh, this is what's going on, because there's a lot of stuff going on.
Okay. I'm kind of getting a little bit more because I've had a Steam account. This is embarrassing for, I don't know, 10 months now after I saw one of Chris's videos, and then I've kind of got the gist of it, but not. I think I wasn't using it effectively. So one thing, if you could recommend, let's just say someone that's hearing this for the first time, what would you recommend they do in that first day, first week, when they just sign up for Steemit?
So one of the first things I suggest is making an introductory post. You get 5 hashtags on a blog post, and so I suggest using the hashtag introduce yourself or new and all that stuff, because you get 5 of them. So introduce yourself is something someone can click on the side and see all the new people that are coming onto the platform, and basically introduce yourself, say hello, what you're all about, what's your channel, what you aim to do, a little bit of biography about yourself. And usually those are the people actually look at those posts when you first start, and that can get you a lot of followers. But probably my best advice when you get on Steemit, first off, if you're going to get a free account, it's probably going to take 2 to 3 weeks to be verified through steemit.com. There is third-party places to buy an account, but that's way too complicated for someone that has no idea about cryptocurrency or anything like that. So my best advice, other than doing that introductory post, is going on YouTube, going on DTube, searching what is Steemit, what is Steam Power, what is Steam blockchain, and really research the stuff before you get involved with it, because this isn't where you sign into Twitter and it's super easy. You're like, oh, I just tweet and push the button and there it goes. There's an ecosystem here. There's communities here. There's projects that are built on top of the Steam blockchain. There's blockchain technology for those that don't know about blockchain. So there's so much stuff going on. My biggest advice, other than the introductory post, is go to YouTube, go to DTube, and research what is Steemit and learn. I spent a month and a half going over every piece of literature I can find, every YouTube video that explained anything about the system, and that tremendously helped me in a tremendous amount.
Yeah, I have to second, third, and fourth that, because after watching Chris's first couple videos, even though he said this in his first videos, basically what he just said right there, make sure you research. I did very little research, and I posted a bunch of things, and I made basically all the errors about the stuff he just said in the last 5 minutes that I didn't do. So it's one thing, maybe this is a side silly thing, but did people still put up, like in that first initial post, are there still things that they do? Like I remember somebody holding up like a picture of their username, I believe it was, or the date or the time or something like that. Is that something that's still done, or is that kind of it was only done in the past?
Yes, that's actually something that is still done to this day, and I highly suggest doing it because it actually verifies you as an entity, because there's some people that actually try to be other people on the platform, which they're trying to alleviate right now, because there's no really way to verify who's who unless you do one of those placards, which pretty much says like, I'm Chris, Reseller, Thrift Shop Hustler, and it's got a sign, and it's pretty much not 100% verifiable, but it's a step in the right direction to verify yourself, and people feel more accepting and more confident that that's the real person in those introductory posts.
Okay. That's something I didn't do as well. I noticed that after the fact. I saw all these guys like, hey, they're holding up this, they're holding up that. So I think that, and then with that introductory post, I've noticed a lot of people will come from other platforms. Like they'll come from Facebook, they'll come from YouTube. Do you recommend that you sculpt that first post for Steemit specifically? You don't use something else at all? Is it, I mean, it'll make you look like you're just basically spamming the site, at least in my eyes.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, here's the thing is, like, imagine Steemit is just like a blank canvas, and however you choose to utilize it is up to you. I definitely highly suggest treating Steemit as a separate entity. There are some people that will take their YouTube videos and then put them on DTube and then put them on Steemit and do all that. That's what I did when I first started, was cross-posting everything. But I soon realized that it's its own separate entity, that, you know, you're not going to want to go on Facebook, make content for Facebook, and then put it on YouTube. It's silly, you know, like, oh, hi, Facebook, and you're on YouTube. You want to kind of keep for me personally, this you could do whatever you want. I'm gonna let everyone know, do whatever you want. But for me, I see a value in creating a separate entity, separate content, specifically for Steemit, DTube, DLive, all these other platforms built on the Steem blockchain.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, and definitely, because that doesn't work. I know this from firsthand experience. Don't just post videos randomly. So you kind of alluded to, because I know you wouldn't, DTube and Steemit, you can kind of, is there a connection there? How did that work, or how do those two go together?
I'm trying to see if I got my whiteboard. I actually might have to draw some of this stuff to actually get a good picture.
Sorry, I know we're going low level here, but
No. Okay, so imagine Steem, the blockchain. Imagine that's like a server, a database of everything that's going on. Steemit is built on top of that, so all the information goes to that Steem blockchain.
Yeah.
DTube is a separate entity that is a third party that also interacts with the Steem blockchain and also interacts with Steemit. So DTube is basically, people call it the competitor of DTube or YouTube, but it's actually, I feel it's something its own thing. So it's pretty much like YouTube. You upload videos, people can comment, subscribe to you, but it also ties into Steemit.com. So when you upload a video to DTube, it also puts a blog post on Steemit, and they both interact with the Steem blockchain. So that is basically what Steemit is. And DTube, they're two separate entities ran by two separate companies, two separate people. And so, but it also interacts with the Steem blockchain. And there's other third-party apps like DLive. There's a Instagram version called Steep Shot. There's a SoundCloud version called, what is it called? D-Sound. And you guys should actually look and post in your podcast on D-Sound too. And you'll go back and you'll see all this. But there's all these third-party applications built around the central hub, which is the Steem blockchain.
Got it. So it's expanding. Have you seen that expand? I mean, I know you said you've been on since June of last year on Steemit. Have you seen that? Is it kind of ever growing, kind of like apps are on Facebook, that type of thing? Or
yes, and what's nice about Steem and the Steem blockchain is there's so many. Everything's still in beta, if you believe it. Steemit.com is not a full version. DTube is not a full version. DLive is not a full version. They're still working on their applications. And what's nice about Steem, the Steem blockchain and Steemit, Ned Scott, who is the CEO, he's right now in New York doing all kinds of interviews and stuff. They're building more things on top of the Steem blockchain to make the money, the Steem currency, more valuable. And they have something coming out called smart media tokens. I don't really want to get into the tech about that, but imagine if like you go to Reddit and Reddit has their own Bitcoin. And so every time you upvote in Reddit, you get a little bit of a coin. Well, they're creating that called the smart media token that people like Reddit who have no idea about blockchain, who want to get involved with using the Steem blockchain, could use those technologies, those tokens to tokenize their platform. So you guys essentially could have your own, reseller niched coin with these SMTs that reward people for subscribing or upvoting or stuff. So there's a lot of things going on in the next year in the roadmap about, that is going to add value and therefore add value to the token. Because that's the whole thing too. Steemit tokens, Steem is pretty much like its own little currency. It's like Bitcoin. So there's speculatory things with that. So it can also go up in value. This is something that isn't just one coin is worth $1. It could be something that could be worth $100 one day. So if you got a dollar upvote today, who's to say that dollar Steem token could be worth $100 tomorrow? So there's that whole element also. And that's what the importance of building new technologies on the Steem blockchain is, making it more valuable for the whole ecosystem to become better and the value of the tokens to go up.
Okay. I'm wrapping my brain around this slowly but surely. And then,
oh yeah, trust me, man. Like I'm downloading like a year worth of stuff on you guys in like a few minutes. So I understand
I'm going to rewatch this after.
Yeah.
Because that way I can kind of really kind of attack it. So you mentioned that, like, obviously Steem power, that's a fluctuating number. And
yes.
So like when you cash out, you talked about that a little bit earlier.
Yes.
Is there strategy to that, to where people kind of wait, like, oh, it's low today or it's higher, oh, it looks like it's going higher today, I'm going to cash out? Or do you have to do that at a certain, like every 7 days?
Yes, there's a strategy on cashing out. I just cashed out for the first time a couple weeks ago when the price was at $4.40, and now it's at two something. So there's a lot of volatility in this business. So I think that scares a lot of JP Morgans and like the big banking industry in crypto, because the prices are very volatile. But there is a strategy for some that want to cash out. And for those that want to know, so you do earn Steam. You earn Steam and you earn Steam back dollars. There's two separate things. And what you can do is once you collect them, you could go to a third party site, cash them out for Litecoin or Bitcoin, and then cash those out for whatever currency that you have in your country. For us, it's dollars. So there's 3 steps to get money into your bank account. So you'll have to set up an account with Coinbase, which I don't know if you guys know anything about cryptocurrencies, but Coinbase is one of the leaders in a place to exchange your Bitcoin for real money in real life.
Gotcha. So you go from, okay. Oh, that makes sense. So it's kind of got a couple different levels, but you can cash out for USD if you really wanted to, or you could go to something like a Litecoin or a Bitcoin.
Well, yeah, you'll have to go. You can't cash out your Steam on Coinbase. So you have to go Steam or Steam back dollars into Litecoin or Bitcoin, and then take that Bitcoin or Litecoin into USD. So there's 3 steps. Yeah.
Okay. So I imagine a lot of people leave it in Litecoin or Bitcoin.
Got it.
They're more into that.
Hey, Chris, let me just kind of recap real quick, because this is such an interesting topic, and there's that detail in it the devil's in the details in this, obviously. Just to kind of recap, when you first start out, make sure you research. Definitely do your research. You definitely want to do that. Makes it easier. It is a social platform, but it's also more involved. You can put up your YouTube, so that's where some of your research comes in. It does work in cryptocurrency, but you can cash out your cryptocurrency. So,
yeah,
correct.
Okay, I'm saying that so I can catch up, because you guys are like,
no,
you're going at, yeah. So
I'm not going at anything. I'm letting Chris do all the talking.
Yeah.
So we'll do the real TLDR, which is too lazy to read.
Yeah, didn't read too long, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So what happens is it's a new social media site. You blog. When people upvote you, you earn tokens. You can take those tokens, either save them for speculative reasons to hope that the price goes up, or you can cash them out for USD. That's pretty much the very basics of what's going on here.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
And one of the, we're all resellers, so there is a way to make money at this.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Gotcha.
And also too, I don't want to be like this guy, but you want to go in thinking that this is a new social media experience. You don't want to go in thinking I'm going to make a ton of money off this, because you're going to be shot down right off the bat, because this is new technology. This is a new way of thinking. This is new social media. This is like a new social experiment that's happening. Imagine Facebook, where all these people, spend hours of their day pouring their life stories on Facebook, and then Facebook goes around and allegedly sells your data to others, and you don't get anything. Think about it. You don't get anything for doing anything on Facebook unless you sell a product or have a business of some sort that monetizes Facebook clicks or whatever. So this is a revolutionary system where you can actually earn tokens and earn money from just doing the things you're normally doing on social media.
This is what other social medias have claimed to do, but haven't really. I mean, yeah. We can go into what they haven't done, but yeah, I like where it's going here. And then has there been, maybe this is a tangent, but have other, say YouTube, a Google Plus, a Facebook, have they tried to kind of integrate in any way with Steemit, or is that not something that's
right now? There's no major companies that have been thinking about using the Steem blockchain. But by the way, the Steem blockchain is an amazing blockchain. If you research it, they have like the most transactions combined from all the blockchains, Bitcoin, everything. Steemit has the most transactions daily And so it's a very robust system. So people want to kind of look into this, but that's what I was talking about, the smart media tokens. Smart media tokens is a way that other companies like Facebook or someone can use the Steem blockchain to tokenize their own platforms. But to get back to your question, to my knowledge, there's no Twitter coin, there's no other major people doing cryptocurrencies. And to be honest, a Facebook or a Twitter or one of these billion-dollar companies, they are not going to use Steemit. They're going to create their own thing because that's just business smart. You don't want to get involved with something that's not under your control. Even though the Steem blockchain is basically open source, anyone can actually build something upon it. Like you guys can make $1 billion business off the Steem blockchain if you had the coding knowledge and had some idea that would work, like the DTube thing. That's an amazing idea. Someone said, well, Facebook or YouTube is acting up, the demonetization. And we've actually had a few really high-end YouTubers come over to DTube. Like, I don't know if you heard of Furious Pete. He's kind of like a fitness guy. The Hodge twins, they're kind of like, they're twins and they do commentary. There's a few celebrities on Steemit and on DTube, but right now we're still early adopters. But you can see where that model where someone can actually, with a good idea and some coding knowledge or friends that do it, could build $1 billion industry upon this thing. But to go back to your saying, there's no Facebook or no one that we know of that is thinking about using the Steem blockchain. And that would make the price go crazy. If Reddit tomorrow said that they were going to create a smart media token, the price of Steem would go to $25 and overnight.
Yeah. No, I mean, is there any truth to the, I mean, I heard that Amazon was not looking to Steemit, but looking into their own token type thing, and then they dismissed that a few months later, something like that. Is that something you heard, or?
The Amazon getting into cryptocurrencies has been a rumor for like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years. I don't think they've done anything with it. I know that they have patents that have been released about certain things with cryptocurrency. So I wouldn't doubt if you see one day an Amazon cryptocurrency or something that is blockchain technology. Because here's the thing too, blockchain technology is not just like a money thing. It's not just like a stock to own in a company. Blockchain technology has so many other applications within the technology. It's not just money. You know, you could put home loans on it. It's a record that'll be there forever. You know, you can have things that say, well, when your son turns 25, it's going to release $100,000 into his bank account. There's so many different things with this technology that people haven't even thought of yet. So eventually I say that we'll see big business start to get into it for sure.
Yeah, you said it's basically only about a year old and still in beta. So
yeah, the Steem blockchain. I mean, Bitcoin has been around since 2008, and it's already changed a lot of way people think about money and store of value and all that kind of stuff.
Definitely. So then let's go back to, say, that first person that's put in their, like, what kind of content are we seeing on Steemit? And then we'll go to DTube after that. That maybe, I don't know if it's changed in a year, or what kind of content are you seeing now? That people
I say when I first came on to Steemit, it was a lot of people doing like travel blogs, like, you know, what they're eating. It's a lot of the same thing that you would see on like Medium. People will do an article about, you know, new technologies coming out, or a trip they went to Jamaica or something like that with like pictures and then descriptions and things like that. It's pretty much like a blogging platform, but the advent of DTube and DLive and all these other third-party apps have opened it up to, you know, video streaming and video. And there's now DTube vloggers starting to emerge. We're going to see the new Casey Neistats. We're going to see the new kind of vloggers start to emerge in this new platform over the next 3 to 4 years, I think.
Okay, definitely. And then so DTube is it basically just video based, or is there another element to it also, or?
No, it's just video based. Right now, all you do is pretty much upload videos to it. It's pretty much like YouTube. You upload your video, it goes onto the platform. It also creates a blog post on Steemit. So that's how people usually get to that DTube page, is they'll click your blog post. It'll take you to the DTube page. You watch the video. You can upvote it through the video, or you can upvote it through the Steemit.com application. And that's pretty much how that goes. People can leave comments. it's like I said, it's in beta. It's not like you're not going to go in expecting DTube to be like YouTube. I know that they'll delete the videos after like I think it's like maybe a month because of server space, and it's in beta right now. So definitely, if you're going to get onto DTube, save your videos, because right now they're still trying to clean out the servers. They're not YouTube. People go on to DTube thinking, oh, this is going to be, I'm going to have the same experience, but it's this whole new technology. They're still trying to work out the bugs. There's money involved. They don't have billions of dollars to be spending on server space and updates and everything. And the team in DTube is amazing, and they're very passionate about the product.
Okay. And I think, Russ, we had a question from the chat.
Nevermore Antiques, and you kind of covered it a little bit earlier, but you said Nevermore wants to know, is there an easier way to transfer your content to DTube? He was thinking about going over there. They were thinking about going over there as well.
Now, here's one of the things. You could basically take your YouTube videos and put them on DTube. You could do that with older ones. I highly not suggest that. So let me repeat that. I don't suggest that, because what DTube, to my understanding, what they're looking for original content. They're looking for exclusive content. They're looking for quality content. If you just start pulling your videos from YouTube from like 5 years ago, start throwing them on DTube, hoping for an upvote, it's probably not going to happen. So my suggestion is, instead of thinking of how do I transfer my existing content to DTube, think about making exclusive content that's just for DTube.
Gotcha. And it sounds like, from what you were talking about with the people that are coming over, some of the bigger guys you said that were coming over from YouTube, their content is kind of across the board. So on DTube, it's kind of every subject, every kind of subject matter is kind of covered there, it sounds like.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Chris, I got a question about the cryptocurrency and that aspect of it. I think what people have a hard time understanding on that, and I want to ask you this, see where Steemit's at. One of the things we understand about the U.S. dollar is there is a backing to it. There's a start. If we take and we understand credit, we know that somebody gives us credit, we're eventually going to have to pay for it. We pay an interest. But I think what confuses a lot of people, or they can't get their head around, is where does that crypto start? So in this case, where does Steemit start? Is it ad revenue like YouTube? Where does the money start flowing from to get it to you?
Okay, this is gonna probably go over some people's heads, and I apologize for that, because I don't even know 100% of what really goes on with the whole ecosystem and the algorithms, but I'm gonna try to explain it as best as I can. Now, the US dollar, you brought up the US dollar. Right now, we are currently in a debt system. There's nothing that backs up the dollar. We can print as many dollars as we want as a, it's not even ran by the government. That's another thing too. They call it the Federal Reserve, but I don't want to, I am not going to go down that rabbit hole. Right. The US dollar is not backed by anything. And I think and it could be inflated to nothing. Your dollar could be worth 10 cents tomorrow if they just started printing money, which they've done over the years. But anyways,
they've talked about printing a $1 trillion coin just for that purpose.
Yeah. So exactly. So the dollar, since the 70s, I think Richard Nixon is the one that stopped the backing of gold, because the US dollar used to be backed by gold. But anyways, back to Steemit. So what happens is, there is something called witnesses, and they pretty much mine the Steem coins. So I'm trying to see how I can explain this so that makes sense. Okay, so every time you post a post on Steemit, or you do anything on Steemit, you do an upvote, there's a transaction that needs to go to the blockchain. The witnesses are pretty much the ones that say, okay, that's a upvote, that's a downvote, that's a post. They're checking things off. It's like a witness. That's why it's called witnesses, because they're witnessing the transactions. Now, Steemit every day is inflationary, meaning there are new Steemit coins created every day. That's why people get upvotes. That's where the money comes from. So it's not only mined in a certain way, there's also something called a rewards pool. So there's new coins being created every day, but the inflationary rate doesn't just go all the way up. The inflationary rate actually goes down over time. So there's going to be less and less coins made over time, but every day new coins are being made and the rewards pool goes for everyone. Do you remember when I was saying that we get a voting percentage and about 20, it recharges 20% every day? That's where that's the rewards pool is. There's always new coins being created into the system and put into the system. So the number of coins today is going to change tomorrow. It's going to go up. It's going to go up. It's going to go up. And you might say to yourself, well, then the price is going to go down. But people are going to need these coins to do different things. So there's going to be a supply and demand. There's a supply and demand right now. Once SMTs come out, there's a supply and demand. So to answer your question, and I apologize tremendously for this overcomplicated answer to a simple answer. Steemit creates its own coins every day by a certain amount, and that is released to everyone. So that's pretty much how the coins are made.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Thank you.
No, that makes sense, actually.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. I mean, and then is that with new, I guess, fluctuations in the market, shall we say, can people go in there and they, X amount of coins are available? Can people go in there and just kind of corner the market in that sense and just kind of buy up? Is there a way to do that?
Yes, I think one could actually corner the market. If you had maybe like $30 to $40 million, you probably could corner the market. You're not going to buy everything that's available, but you could. But here's the thing. Here's the great thing about crypto. You can't just buy $30 million, which is the market cap for. Okay, so there's two coins here, and I don't want to go into what the two coins do. The Steem is the main coin, right? And there's $719 million worth of it. That's the market cap. You're never going to buy that up because everyone has it. So if someone wants to corner the market, not only is it going to take a lot of work to buy everyone's coins back, when someone starts to buy up everything, the price is going to go to $100, $1,000, $10,000. So there's no way that someone can corner the market, but they could, in theory, throw a bunch of money and actually become a whale and be able to upvote, a $100 upvote, a $200 upvote, a $400 vote, and make money in that regard. So instead of trying to be like, I'm going to corner the market so the price goes up, people might want to think about, I want to try to get as much steam as I can to power up my account so that I can vote for myself every day, $400, which is not looked upon well in this business. People want to see you voting for other people to keep the ecosystem going, but that is something that some people do. They get a lot of steam power and they start voting for themselves to earn a little bit of money every day. But, that's just how it is.
Okay. And then I guess another thing, like I'm interested in who, maybe this is silly, I'm not looking at popularity, but on Steemit right now, who are like the more, I guess, well-known people regardless if we've heard of them or not, and what are the types of things they are talking about?
So that is actually a really good question. Some of the major Steemians, they're called, we're all called Steemians, were the people that got in early when it was like 10 cents, 8 cents, 3 cents a coin. And they were able to purchase like 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 of these coins. And now some of their accounts are worth millions of dollars because it's right now, the price I think is at $3. So imagine buying like 10,000 coins at 3 cents each, and now they're worth $3 each. That just, that just shows you a lot of those people who kept on blogging and joining the communities. Those are kind of like the whales that are known in public, and there's a lot of witnesses, have a lot of stake sometimes, and those are popular people. Like I said, there's no celebrities on Steemit. There's a few like kind of like news entity people, but nothing like super crazy. There's no Joe Rogan, there's no Kim Kardashians, there's no Kanye West, there's no one of that caliber yet. So who the stars are on Steemit are usually the people that have a pretty good amount of steam in their account and are the ones that are creating, somewhat decent content daily. So that's to answer your question.
So it sounds like people put in the work are the actual. Okay, that's the whole thing, I think.
But it sounds like, Chris, you say there isn't yet, but it sounds like there's going to be these type of people. Nobody would have heard of Casey Neistat if it wasn't for YouTube. There's been people that have gotten jobs off YouTube, and we're talking, Saturday Night Live, comedians. What was the one kid that started out on YouTube?
Oh, Justin Bieber.
Right. Yeah, thank you for. I'm sorry, I forgot that, and thanks for not remembering that, Russ. But yeah, I mean, so it can happen, and it probably the way you're explaining it, the way it goes down, I'm thinking it will happen, and it could be
yeah.
that person that puts the time in, puts the energy in, and smartly does it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's no celebrities, and even Steemit just celebrated its second anniversary, like a couple months ago in March, and there's still no celebrities, and to me, it kind of baffles my mind why no one's really found out about this, like in the celebrity world. But like I said, I still think even if you join today, you're still an early adopter. You're almost like the person that bought in early when it was at 3 cents. Now I don't want to make this like a monetary thing. Like if you get in now, oh, you're going to be a millionaire tomorrow.
You're going to be on the ground floor.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you join today, at least you're still in the beginning of whatever possibly could happen in the future.
Oh yeah. And then I mean, just so people could look them up, are there people you would recommend that are on Steemit right now with good content?
Oh, there's a ton of them, and I just I couldn't do that right now. Like I said, there's so many. See, the thing is, it depends on what you're looking for too. Everyone's different. Like, do you like traveling? Do you like food? Do you like gaming? Do you like vlogging? It's like asking like someone who are all the video or the YouTubers they like to watch. You're gonna have a million answers for that question.
Sure. Okay. And then since we're basically we talk about reselling a lot. Are there other resellers that I know yourself? You're a reseller, and you see other resellers coming on there more and putting out content?
Not really. I know Texas Gal Treasures has an account, and I'm trying to think. Yvonne, do you know Yvonne?
Yeah, I do.
What's her handle?
Oh, I'm blanking on it, but I can see her face.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone knows who I'm talking about. She's on here. They joined when you joined. Remember, I was like, I did the whole thing like everyone's got to join. This is incredible. And then everyone posted and was like, where did everyone go? Everyone disappeared. But yeah, there's no one else doing it. And I think what it is the learning curve. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, the learning curve is insane. And it scares a lot of people. The new user experience isn't that great, and they're working on that right now. Like I said, it's beta. They're coming out with new updates in the next year. It's going to make it easier for people not only to sign in and create an account, also account recovery, which is a whole thing in crypto. The whole privacy, and not the whole privacy, but the whole security thing is insane. Never show anyone your private keys. Don't try to expose your passwords because people can take your accounts and then you're pretty much up the river. But, like I'm saying, this is still brand new stuff here that's going on.
Okay. And then it's similar to like cryptocurrency. Once you lose that key, that's it.
Yeah, pretty much. So if you sign up for, here's a tip. So when you sign up for Steemit, if you do, make sure that you print out your password or write it down. I actually highly suggest writing it down, but put it in a safe. Because if your account ever gets stolen, they're going to ask you for that original password. And as long as you have that original password, you should be able to count. And let me actually talk about security for a second. So traditionally in crypto, if you have your money on an exchange, which is basically somewhere where you can buy and sell like stocks, people can steal your money out of there. So there's hardware wallets, which is basically like an offline wallet. You plug it into your computer. It's a USB. It goes in a little hardware thing. You unplug it, and that's safe. No one can get to that. So Steemit has a lot of great security measures installed where you take your Steem dollars and you power up, which is the weighted stake I'm talking about. So once you power up, it's like putting your Steem into a savings account, and you can only pull it out after 13 weeks in 13 increments. So if you have 13,000 Steem, you're going to get 1,000 Steem every week once you power down. So that's one security measure. Someone can't just jump in, pull out all your Steem if you have it in Steem power. That's one security measure. They also have a savings account. So it's like, imagine having a savings account at your bank where you could put your Steem or your Steem backed dollar into the savings account, and it takes 3 days to pull that out. So if your account is compromised, you have 3 days to fix it before they start to pull it out of savings. So a lot of people will put all their Steam in Steam Power because it will take 13 weeks to pull the whole thing out. So that's one of the security measures. And also, I mean, for most part, when you get your Steam and your Steam back dollars, it's liquid in the account. So, you know, for me, I like to put it in the savings account because I do like to cash out, you know, upgrade my backgrounds here, you know, I got new headphones, you know, all this kind of stuff. You're going to want to cash out. So the 3-day option is more an option for someone like me, though I do power up, because the more Steam power you have, the greater weight you have in upvotes and things like that.
Okay. And then you talked a little bit before about there was, I don't know if it was a DTube or a Steemit, there was a convention that you had maybe a few months back. Could you talk about that a little bit?
So I was asked to speak at a conference. It was the first of its kind in Las Vegas, and it was called the Steam Creators Conference, and a gentleman by the name of IJ, who goes by @Steam Cafe on Steemit, asked me if I wanted to be a speaker there, because my whole thing was, and you guys seen my evolution, I started from nothing. I had no followers, no content. I kept hustling, I kept grinding. And that was one of the things that they wanted me to talk about at this conference, was how, the hustle and the grind of this whole thing to be successful, because you're not just going to come on to Steemit unless you're a celebrity, post one thing and boom, you're driving a Lamborghini like tomorrow. That's not going to happen. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, anyone that's watching, it's going to take a lot of work. You're going to eat a tremendous amount of dirt before you find success on Steemit. It's not going to be easy. I'm going to tell you right now, if you want easy, go back to YouTube. You want easy, go back to Reddit, go back to Twitter. You want to challenge yourself and see what you're really made of in social media, join Steemit, join DTube.
I like that. I like that.
Chris, one of the things that Mo and I have always talked about is, and throughout my lifetime, I've seen this, when I was a kid, there was a store called Ben Franklin's Five and Dime, and they were huge. And then there was a store called Kmart. And then you see where I'm going with this. Facebook, YouTube, those are all big. But we've even seen it in our short existence of the internet with what was the one, MySpace.
Yeah.
So don't discount new stuff. There is a new Facebook being created right now. There is a new YouTube being created right now that will replace those things. So it's cyclical. It always happens.
Yeah, and I mean, the technology is getting crazier every year, where there is projects that are going to be like Steemit coming out. There's like new social media platforms. There's one called EOS that should be coming out next month. That's going to be a competitor to Steemit. But what's nice about Steemit is Steemit has such an amazing foothold on the ecosphere. It's going to take a lot to bump them off, but competitors are going to come. I'm sure that we're going to see competitors to DTube. But you're right, and nothing is for sure. This is, the whole Steemit thing could go down the drain tomorrow. The whole DTube thing could go down the drain tomorrow. There's going to be risk and all this new stuff, but for me, I see, like you're saying, the writing's on the wall. I'm almost 40 years old. I've seen VHS go from VHS to 4K Blu-ray,
to Blu-ray, and now there's none of those at all. Right? Yeah. So,
right. So
it's constantly changing.
The most famous quote is "History repeats itself," and like you just said, for me personally, I feel like this is going to be the future. It might not solve all the problems, or it might not be, the answer to Facebook. I honestly think they're two parallel things that are just going to split off.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have the cryptocurrency, and then you're going to have old traditional social media. I don't see one replacing the other, though it could happen.
No, I think you hit the nail on the head there, because I think we have a tendency to say, this is going to replace this is going to replace this, because we don't understand that anything that's new. I think you're right. It might not even be two. It might be 3 or 4 different avenues that people are going to use them all. Just to, things are moving so fast. So I want to talk a little bit about, because I know you do the Steemit Minute, and if you could go over that a little bit for everyone.
So what I do is, this is actually one of the things that I found that was successful, is every day I do it's called the Steemit Minute, but it probably runs between 5 and 8 minutes. I talk about the current price of the day, how many accounts are signed up, any news that is important to Steemit. It's very Steemit oriented. So it's pretty much like less than 10 minutes every day. I get up, I'll research some things. I actually highlight a new Steemian every day. I also highlight an account, and I also highlight a DTube video. So not only am I sharing news with my program, I'm also highlighting some content that I think people should see. So that was one of the things that I found that was successful for me. And I tried so many different things. Like when I first started, I mean, my name's Reseller on Steemit, which is, when I look back at it now, it's so stupid of a name. But my thought process was, I'm going to take the Thrift Shop Hustler channel and migrate it over, or split it off into Steemit, where I'm going to do the Thrift Shop Hustler stuff over here too. But it evolved into so many different things where, like, now when I post something about thrift shopping or eBay, people are like, what is this crap?
That's funny. Because I think the same thing happened to me. But is it some, I'm sorry, go ahead, Russ.
No, I was just going to say, one thing that comes out though, Chris, I was going to ask, are you having fun at it, or, but you can tell your passion for this, and something clicked with you on this, and you're an intelligent person. You love to dig down. You love the grind. This became a new challenge for you. Was it easy? No, but man, your passion for DTube and Steemit just pours out of you.
Well, see, here's the thing. And I'm sorry to interrupt. It's like multifaceted, where I love the challenge. I love the new technology, and I love the possibility that these Steemit, like one Steemit could be worth $100 one day. And there's that whole thing where we're watching a possible investment happening through, in traditional stuff, we put so much hard work into YouTube and no one watches our videos. In Steemit, you have an opportunity to hustle and do hard work and create great content and actually get paid a living or a decent, thing for what you're creating. It's just, and I think that's what makes me so happy too, is the community greats here. And I don't want to knock anything about, the reseller community, but we've all seen the drama. We've all seen the echo chamber. We all seen how everyone wants to think that they're all competing for each other, which they're right, because there's so little pieces of the pie on YouTube that I think, I see Steemit and I just see this huge pie factory, yay, I get to go swim in the pies today. Where there's still competition here, but I don't even look at it. I look at it more like community. And I wish the reseller community on YouTube thought about it more as a community rather than competition, because I feel like that's why I'm so happy, because I thought oh my God, I have to deal with all these people. And I love a lot of people that are in the reseller community. Don't get me wrong. But also I've been rubbed the wrong way by everyone. Here's the most ironic and funny part about that. I was pretty much pushed out of the reseller community in a way. And thankfully that happened, because look at me now. I was literally pushed into something else. And I just said, you know what? I'm just going to come over here and do my own thing over here and see what happens. And so far it's been a fun journey. And that's why you see the smile and the happy and the glowing and all that stuff.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. And then I don't know if this is a side thing, but because you mentioned when you came over, you're at Reseller on Steemit. If you wanted to, is it even allowed to have say you want to do a cooking channel or something like that, or you want to do stock market channel? Can you do that, or is it only one avenue? Okay, so when you sign up for an account and you pick a username, you're stuck with that. You can't change your usernames like you can in I don't think you can even you can't change your username in Instagram, but once you have a username on Steemit, you're set in stone. That's your username, but you could buy other accounts. So you could have multiple accounts. So if you wanted to do cooking, you wanted to do gardening, you just go to a third-party app, you pay $5 Steem, and you put in the username to make sure. It's called Anon Steem if you Google that, for anyone looking. And there's other ways to do it too, but I use Anon Steem. It's $5 Steem, which I guess today would be $15. So you can buy another account for specifically cooking, for specifically gardening, and you can have multiple accounts. Okay. So that's allowed. Okay. And then I know we should have done this earlier. If you could just kind of go over your how people find you on Steemit, on DTube, etc. So I am at Reseller on Steemit. So it's steemit.com/@Reseller. You have to put the @ symbol in there. At Reseller.
I'm on YouTube, Thrift Shop Hustler. I need to actually kind of do some more videos because I still am passionate about reselling, and I've been doing it for like 30 years, and I will never stop doing it. I still love going to garage sales. I still love going to thrift stores, and I will definitely be making some more videos for my YouTube channel, but just not. I'm having so much fun over in this playground. Like, why do I want to go to the other playground and play?
That makes sense. And then I guess one last thing, because we're reaching the hour mark now, so I want to be observant of your time, as they say. But I mean, is there anything that you see? I mean, I know there's a million things probably coming up, but any maybe things in the next 6 months to a year that you see happening that are really exciting on DTube or Steemit that people should know about?
So DTube, we'll start with DTube. DTube's actually, evolving their system. They're at 0.7 right now on their version. They're going to roll out 0.8 pretty soon, and they're going to be dealing with the storage issues and the playback issues. Remember I was saying like they delete the storage after a certain amount of time. They're working on all that stuff, so that's very exciting. There's lots of new YouTubers coming over to DTube. We're still in the early phase of that. That's what excites me about that. Also, Steemit, those SMTs, the smart media tokens I was talking about, haven't even been released yet. So I'm very excited to see how that ecosystem is going to work, because like I said, all it's going to take is someone like Reddit, someone like Twitter, or someone in that vein, a Walmart, not a Walmart, but like a Walgreens, or like anyone, like even like whatever your favorite blogger is, if they create their own smart media token to tokenize their content, and then a bunch of people start to flow into that, that's just going to make the whole ecosystem go crazy. So I think SMTs on Steemit is probably the most exciting thing for me. They have a lot of cool things that are rolling out. We haven't even hit like mass adoption yet. There's not even 1 million accounts yet, which there's going to be 1 million accounts in the next couple of days, actually, by the way, guys.
Wow. That's pretty huge, though, actually, for something that's in beta still.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I just wanted to, we're going to have to invite Chris back. I think I'm going to have to organize my thoughts a little bit better before. So I cannot ask, maybe I'll go from kindergarten level questions to first grade level questions.
Yeah, it's a lot to wrap your head around. And like I said, I apologize. There's probably going to be 99% of the people that are going to watch this and be like, I have no idea what's going on. And that's totally understandable. But yeah, if you ever want to do this again, I love talking about Steemit. I love talking about DTube. I'm game for that.
Awesome. And that's why actually we're going to have all Chris's information in the show notes. If you want to get a hold of him one last time, what's the best way to get a hold of you, Chris?
You can find me on Steemit at Reseller. That's probably the best place to get a hold of me. Yeah, you can. Well, no, yeah, I guess you need a Steemit account. I mean, I'm Thrift Shop Hustler on YouTube. Definitely send me a message there.
Excellent.
So
any last word for us?
Just again, the passion, and I'm looking over his Steemit, and Chris is very. He likes to motivate people, and that comes through. And some of his motivational stuff, I see that's some of your highest rewarded items there, Chris. So keep up the good work on that. And for those people that it did go over their head, I encourage them to do what we always say, Mo. Research equals knowledge equals profit.
That's right. And then, Chris is one last thing. Chris is one of a few people that I can watch I drive and I listen to YouTube and I listen to podcasts a lot. I listen to Chris's, even his older YouTube videos while I'm driving, and I don't have to watch it because he talks in detail. So like there's one you talk about Bob's Big Boy. That stuff is really, nobody does that. Nobody talks about the intricacies of little things. So just a little segue, check out his YouTube, check him out on DTube and on Steemit. So until the next one, I just want to say thanks everyone for listening to the Reseller Niche podcast. Check us out at our Facebook group on YouTube, and please leave us a review on iTunes. For myself and Russ and for Chris, thanks for listening, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks.
Bye.